trying to film this video for like the whole week, and yesterday I literally tried to do it at a different park, and just because we're literally playing music, I literally had a microphone. I forgot the microphone today, but yesterday I had the mic, and there were kids playing, like, I'll insert clips here, but they literally played music outside. And like, I used the mic to hold up, so we're doing it today. Let's get into it because my 75 part is done. That's insane. My 75 part is done, and this is actually my first time working out outside. I did not work out outside for my 75 part, if you do not know. Hi, my name is Idalis. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, become a writer today, subscribe down below. I made a video last month about my 75 part, and my like midway through with like how I was feeling about it. So if you want to watch that, please go do that, because that like gives like a how I was feeling mid 75 part. But now that I'm at the end, I do want to add some things. I'm gonna put here what I did for my 75 part. I did go through it in that last video, so I don't want to go through it again, but I just want to make, I think, some added notes and some added points to my 75 part that I think I missed in that one. I feel like, or not missed, but I wouldn't have known until the end of my 75 part. Rules of 75 part, I talked about it in my last video, but I definitely did do it wrong. I made too many rules for sure, and I couldn't keep up with them, honestly, so technically I did fail. I did fail my 75 part, I'm not gonna lie. But it's okay, because we still continued and we still finished strong anyway. I did do 75 hard / soft, so I did both. So I'm sorry if I'm looking around looking at like all these people in the park. I'm trying not to get too in my head about it, but originally I was going to do 60 days. I feel like I wish I honestly did the 60 days, because on that 60-day mark, the next day I went to DC. If you didn't see my DC trip, go look at that. But during my DC trip, like, I definitely cheated, I definitely drank, I definitely had several cheat meals, but it's fine. Some tips that I feel like people maybe don't talk about is that when it comes to 75 hard, it's definitely like a lifestyle change. I feel like this was a little bit easier for me, only because I already work out, and I feel like this just kind of like honed in my workouts, what I wanted to do, what I wanted to focus on, all of that stuff. So I feel like if you don't work out consistently already, or you don't have some type of routine and you just want to like add to it, I don't know if this is the best challenge for you. I think starting off with working out just like on your own is probably the best bet. Like trying to do something 2 times a week, and then 3 times, and then 4, and then try to get into 75 hard, because it's really difficult, I think, to just kind of jump in cold turkey. It is. And I feel like something that I definitely noticed about my body change is that I'm more in tune with, I guess, like my body and how it reacts to things now, because I wasn't drinking for so long. Now that I'm drinking again, I can see how it bloats me, and it's kind of crazy, like how much weight I I hold, or how much like water weight that I hold when I'm drinking. And also even when I'm eating like really salty, really oily, really cheesy foods. I had tacos last night, and I was like bloated. It's actually like insane to see once you take stuff out and then you start to maybe incorporate them sometimes, to see how your body actually really fluctuates. And I feel like that is my biggest takeaway from this, is that 75 hard really helped me to just get more in tune with who I am, my body, and how it reacts to things. And I feel like a lot of people really talk about lifestyle change and, the body that you want, the body that, your dream goal body, X, Y, and Z. And they think like 75 hard is going to be like this drastic change. And I feel like the drastic change for me was actually noticing how my body reacted to certain things and what bloated me. And I feel like a lot of us are just like eating, but not paying attention to what it's actually doing, or what it actually does inside of our bodies, whether it's like something that's good for us or not. Because still, people can react a certain way to things that are still quote unquote good for them, that maybe their body reacts differently than what some like influencer body reacts to when it comes to like kale, or like something like that. Like you really have to pay attention to what your body likes. And I feel like 75 Hard really honed that in for me. I feel like something that really set me up for success was meal prepping, was planning my workouts. I have already been planning my workouts for over like 5 years. Meal prepping for me is something that I do all the time already, just because it's so easy for me. I think meal prepping is actually for lazy people, personally, and I could be a bit lazy. So you really have to know how to meal prep, I think, and to like really take the day and really take the time to do that so that you can really stay on track. Did I get my split is really the question. So for my 75 Hard, I also did a split challenge. Did I get my split? No. However, since I finished my 75 Hard, I have not been stretching as much as I should, and I have noticed a huge difference. So I think adding that instead of like doing my outside workouts, which is like what people usually do, helped with my recovery. I feel like people don't emphasize stretching enough either. I think having a stretch routine, having some sort of stretching in your routine with 75 Hard, because you're going to be working out so much, is also really important. Like, especially before going to bed or like anything. I think stretching is probably one of the most important things you can do for your body, especially when you're working out, because it's like risk injuries and like all this other stuff when you don't stretch. It also reduces stress, it reduces your anxiety. There's so many benefits to stretching, and I feel like that should really be emphasized more with this challenge, because exercising every day and not stretching is like kind of crazy if you really think about it. Like, you need to stretch. Dynamic stretching, static stretching, all of it. I definitely feel a lot more flexible. I feel a lot more like in my body, especially when I'm stretching. Today was really like the first day I actually was able to go outside and do an outside workout. I do live in a place where working out outside is hard in the wintertime, and I started in the colder months, so that's why I did do that stretching piece. But I think with 75 Hard, I think I've realized, like, as much as I do love working out at the gym, I need other ways to stay active. I personally am a very athletic person. I've played tennis for 3 years of my life, and I feel like I have a missing piece, and the missing piece is literally going outside to like do a sport or stretch or do whatever, some sort of outside activity, because it honestly keeps you sane. Being inside, lifting weights, it's good. It's great. I don't think that's because of it. But like, I need more. And I think 75 Hard made me realize that, because it gets monotonous. And I think now that it's harder, I do want to bring more different things, different workouts into my routine. Like playing tennis, I'm definitely probably going to be hitting some balls on this wall during the summertime, because I do have a I think consistency is key. Consistency is key. Setting yourself up for success is so important, especially with this challenge. If you're actually going to do it, and if you're going to follow through with it, it's 75 Hard, so it's going to be hard. But you have to make it easier on yourself by preparing. If you're not prepared, you're not going to do well. And I feel like I'm really proud of myself for doing this, and I hope that like seeing my journey will help inspire someone to also do it, because having a lifestyle change is a really big deal. Wanting to change your body, wanting to change how you move yourself, wanting to be more in tune with yourself is so important, especially now, especially with everything that's going on. I feel like we try to mask, or we try to drink our way through something, or we try to, you know, cope in ways that maybe aren't the best for our bodies. And I feel like 75 Hard really helped me to like see there are other ways to cope that maybe aren't as harmful to my body. And not being so hard on yourself. I really talked about this in my last video about the 75 Hard. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're one human. You're gonna make mistakes, it's okay. And I know people are like, if you didn't do full 75 Hard and you didn't do X, Y, Z, like, you didn't do it right. And I'm like, you know what? I didn't do it right. You're right. But I still did it. But that's why I did hard and soft. I feel like soft, I was like, you know, you can be a little bit more lenient. And I also feel like it was soft because like I could have all of these things that I was like supposed to do, right? But it wasn't the things that I put on my list. I figured out weeks in that they were too much. So like I basically was just like, you know, I'm just gonna get like half of these things done at least a day, and I did do that. So, and those were at least 6 things. So I did like 15 things on my freaking list. I'm actually insane. I think I'm actually crazy. Like I think some people look at me like, Idalis, you're doing a lot, and I'm like, is it? That's kind of insane. No, it's not. I'm not insane. When else am I supposed to do it? What else am I supposed to do? Anyways, I hope you like my supplement outfit. Go to work. Okay. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will catch y'all in my next video.